on, everybody? It's Wednesday, day 5 in the Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island mass shooting. We had a press conference about an hour ago. We had some updates from the A team over there. I've been super critical of this investigation, as you all should be too, because our questions are not being answered. And today we had a clip. I saw a clip of Sheldon Whitehouse, who's a Rhode Island congressman, basically telling the public to their opinion is stupid and that we should shut up. We shouldn't be having this discourse online about, because we don't know. We don't know what's going on. We don't know the investigation. Well, you're asking for our help. You're asking for tips. This is what people do when things are put out into the ether, and you're being asked to look at this information, to track down certain information, to look for certain people in and around Brown University. These are the things that happen, Mr. Whitehouse. This is what happens. We have public discourse about it, and we discuss things, and we come up with theories. And I guarantee you, law enforcement officials are watching over these social media platforms. I can almost guarantee you that. They're monitoring it, and they're saying, well, maybe this is a possibility. Let's look at it in this angle. But today we had a second person of interest that was noted in this investigation. There's been some photos that were released. You can see this one here, and I'm sure most of you have seen this second suspect now, or person of interest. The reason that this has come up now, and I can't find the video, so I apologize about this, was there was a video where the first person of interest and now the second person of interest kind of met at a certain point. I believe it was out on Waterman or Hope Street, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, chat. But I believe that they were seen in and around that area, and you can see the first suspect that we've known about for a couple days kind of jog off, and then the second suspect came behind them. And this is now this new person of interest, suspect. Keep saying suspect. I'm sorry, person of interest that they want to speak to. So we'll get into this. Then I saw this, I guess, said email that came out in a timeline that was on Friday, and I'll share that with you. And this is a little weird, and I tweeted about it. I said, plot twist. This is very strange. So apparently, let me just drop this screen and bring up. Oh, tell me I lost it. Hang on. Let me get this. I want to read this to you guys. That there was an email that went out on Friday, which was very strange. And this was reported by Brian's Breaking News and Intel on X. And this is 2 hours ago. This is intel from Brian. It's not me. But it says, so just to clarify, Friday and Saturday at Brown University. So the timeline is this. Friday morning, a fugitive task force officer is at Brown arresting students. Friday afternoon, Brown University confirms that it is a fugitive task force. On Saturday afternoon, a shooter walks around a whole block around Brown from 2 to 4. Saturday afternoon, just at around 4 o'clock, someone shoots 11 people at Brown. Saturday evening, guy walks right past cops. And this email that went out, and I'm going to share this with you, and it's weird it's not being talked about. And I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses tonight, so it's really hard for me to see. I left them actually at work, and I'm not going to be able to see this too well, but let's see if I can read it. So this was on Friday. Apparently, allegedly, this went out. Timely warning update, an incident on Hope Street. This communication provides an update to the timely warning notice sent earlier today, December 12, 2025, regarding the incident that occurred on Hope Street in the area of Power Street. Now, this is Friday. Following further investigation and coordination with the Providence Police Department, the Brown University Department of Public Safety has been able to confirm the identity of the individual who detained a member of Brown community earlier today. It was a fugitive task force officer who mistakenly identified the community member as a suspect who they were searching for. The community member involved in the incident has been informed of the development and the appropriate campus supports services continue to be offered to them. I just want to make sure this is on the screen. Okay. And it says the investigation into the details of the interaction are now being handled by relevant law enforcement agencies. We continue to encourage the university community to prioritize personal safety. Let me get to this other one. And it says subject, timely warning. I believe this is the one that came out first. The Brown University Public Safety is investigating an incident that was reported to have occurred on December 12th, 2025 at approximately 10:16 a.m. in the morning. This is Friday on Hope Street in the area of Power Street. In the incident, a Brown University community member reported being approached by a male who identified themselves as a federal agent displaying a firearm and using handcuffs to detain the reported party. Following the short interaction, the reporting party is allowed to leave the location without further incident. The community member was not physically injured during this incident. At the time, we have not been able to verify with various federal partners that this was an actual federal law enforcement officer. Therefore, we are issuing this timely warning. This is Friday at 10:16 in the morning. The individual who identified themselves as a federal agent is described as a middle-aged male, approximately 5'10", bearded. Now, these potential person of interest, we haven't seen a beard, but it doesn't make any point that they didn't go back and shave it off. This could be a possibility, folks. And the individual was further described wearing a hat, blue jeans, and a black shirt, driving a gray pickup. This is an absolute mess. What in the fuck is going on in and around Brown University? Why are we not getting answers? And then today, during the press conference, reporter asked, hey, the first suspect or this first person of interest, I keep saying suspect and I apologize. This person of interest, is it a male or a female? We can't comment on that. Why? Why can you not confirm, and why can you not let us know if this is a male or a female? So let's go to Sheldon Whitehouse. Sheldon Whitehouse today, telling the public to basically shut up. We don't know anything. We shouldn't be speaking. We shouldn't be talking about this.
No need from an investigative point of view for people who have no idea what they're talking about to offer their stupid and ill-informed views about what happened all over the internet. So I would please, just from a law enforcement perspective, ask anyone who sees this to just shut up.
Okay.
Until we know who did it and why. We will find out. Give it some time.
Just give it time. Day 5, 96 hours into this investigation. Give it time. We possibly could have 1, maybe 2 fucking mad people running around with guns in our community. But come on, folks. Give it time. Give it time. That's what we say to these families that lost 2 children. That's what we say to the other families of the other 8 people that were wounded, 1 still in critical condition. Just give it time, folks. We'll figure it out. Well, it sure as hell doesn't look like they're figuring anything out day 5 here. Because it's the press conference is still a mess. All right, let's get into the press conference here. We'll play this up. This was just about an hour ago, and we're going to hear, again, you know, Mayor Smiley's going to come out and say, hey, you know, the community, they're in angst. They're worried. Well, yeah, they are. Because it's day 5, 96 hours in, and we still don't have a suspect in custody. And now potentially you've come out and said there's a second person of interest. So not just 1, but 2 mad people could be running around. But you want everybody to go to school, right? It's okay. Everybody should be going to school. Everybody should be going around their business. There's no credible threat in the area. How do you know that? What are you not telling us? Do you have footage of these potential people of interest left the area? Are you tracking them somewhere else? Real quick, we had another report today. Brown shooting investigation expands into Massachusetts. Now, nothing to see here, folks. Law enforcement investigation last week of the deadly shooting in Brown University extended their search into Massachusetts on Wednesday. Local police in towns right over the Rhode Island border said there's no immediate safety threat in that area and urged residents to verify any information that they see on social media. North Attleboro Chief Police Richard McQuaid said in a letter to the residents that the suspect is not being sought in North Attleboro, but said that law enforcement is going to different communities as part of the overall investigation. I love the transparency in this investigation. I love it. Mwah! You guys are working perfectly together. You're giving all those reinforcement and transparent answers to the community. You've really, really instilled public safety here. Nothing to worry about here in Massachusetts, just over the border from Rhode Island in North Attleboro. Nothing to see here. It's just we're gonna move in. We're gonna seek some answers over here, but don't be worried about it. This is a clusterfuck, an absolute clusterfuck. All right, well, let's listen. Probably not a lot of information here, but here we go.
Welcome back to our daily briefing. I want to start by just acknowledging how the residents of Providence and the students.
Now listen, you gotta listen to Smiley here. We're not worried. People are worried, but we're confident. You should go about your business. We know that there's potential people of interest running around. It's just like, what is the fucking answer here?
And campus community at Brown are still feeling restless and eager for an arrest, and we understand and share that feeling. We are also eager for an arrest. The investigation is well underway, and we'll hear an update in just a second from Colonel Perez and Attorney General Nerona. But I want to reemphasize that in the Providence community and with the governor's help, really in the broader Providence community, we have tightened security and we have neighbors looking out for one another, and we will get through this.
So you've tightened security, you have neighbors looking out for everybody, but you're telling everybody to go to school. Oh, that's probably the first place where people want to be right now. In all due respect to what happened at Brown, but people were shot and killed at Brown, but go to school. Community safe, go to school. We have no credible threat, but you stepped up security. I'm lost here, folks. Maybe you can clarify it for me. Am I understanding the message? Am I misinterpreting the message here? Maybe you can clarify it for me, because I'm lost. I'm really lost at what direction they're going in here.
I know our city, and we are a resilient community, and we are a city that will support one another as we move forward in this scary time. Just because
you just said it, in this scary time, but go to school, go about your business. We know people have to go to work.
Because you're feeling unsafe doesn't mean that that's invalid. We know that that's real. But
as you're feeling unsafe again, but at the end of it, go to work, go to school, go about your business. We have no credible threat in the area.
We are doing everything we can to both advance this investigation, but also to provide the support necessary as we move forward and take the first steps together that we need to as a city to start to recognize that kids need to go to school and people need to go to work. And we appreciate the courage and sometimes even tentative steps forward that we're taking as we start to move forward as a community. At this time, I'd like to introduce Colonel Oscar Perez, who will give an update on the investigation. Thank you.
No updates on this investigation.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. We can please show the photo that we released earlier today.
This is the new second person of interest. They're not saying anything. They're not describing anything. They're just standing there showing you a fucking screen.
So we have released this enhanced photo earlier today, and I want to be clear that this is a person that we would like to speak with. We truly believe, based on the video footage that we have been watching for throughout a few days, that may have relevant information to the investigation. So we're asking the public that you can help us identify who this individual is, as well as the individual themselves sees their picture, to please contact the police department. As far as one thing that
it's not like, as you can see here, this potential person of interest is wearing black denim pants. It looks to me like combat boots or some type of boots they're wearing. They have a tan hoodie on. This person could possibly have a beard. None of that. They're wearing glasses. They're not describing anything here. They're just showing photos and saying, well, if you know this guy, just reach out to us, contact us. Nice.
I want to urge you, the public, not to rely on or circulate AI generated images that are currently being shared on social media, as they're not verified or credible. As well, the updates and information that you're getting will be provided exclusively through this department's official channels. I want to make sure that we make that happen, and please notify the public to make sure that that occurs. I would also like to clarify and show a map. Please, if you can play the map.
All right. And look at this fucking map. It's a disaster when they show it. Look at this.
So the map
Who can see that? Who can see any of that? It's not even zoomed in. We can't even read fucking street names on this. This is an absolute disaster. Who is their media representative? Why would you not be zooming in here and saying, these are the streets? I see a square. That's it. With 2 red lines in it. If I'm watching this from home, I'm going, what the fuck am I looking at here? This is a fucking embarrassment.
That you see is actually a map of the area that we have been.
It's just a map of the area, folks.
Walking on those streets, canvassing the area. So as you see the blue image, yesterday I mentioned that we need the public's assistance to check their camera system.
Where is it? Can you fucking tell us what streets you're looking at?
Or any sort of video that you may have that could be helpful to us, that you, as you're watching it or as you're reviewing it, you feel there may be something that we can use, please notify us. And if you need any help with that, viewing those videos, please also call us. We can come over and help you. The green area, that's color, that's when we have confirmed where the subject was prior to the shooting. The red areas, we have also confirmed that that's the immediate area where he left after the shooting. And so this is the map that actually we have so far. We walked it all. We're still actively investigating, and we're still actively having agents, Providence police officers, members of the state police. There's about 9 federal agencies that are assisting us with this investigation, adding the state police as well as the Providence police and other municipalities. Again, I would like to reiterate, if you have any tips, please call the 272-3121 or the FBI link at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting. Thank you.
That is the chief of police that gave us no inclination where this map is. Why can't you say, do you see the perimeter of Main Street and X Street and Y Street? This is the perimeter we're walking. We're looking for people that are inside that perimeter. And then maybe name off some of those streets in that area. X Street, Y Street, J Street, whatever it is. These are the cameras in the areas that we're looking in. There's no context to anything that they're doing here. Nothing. They haven't described, well, the potential suspect looks like they're wearing this. They could have a jacket. They could have a beard. They could be wearing glasses. And then now we look at this map. It's just, it's a box with a bunch of lines in it. Oh my God. I'm going to lose
Attorney General Peter Nerona for an update. Okay. Thank you, General. One additional update from me, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. First, I want to just take a moment to recognize and honor the memory of Ella Cook and Muhammad Aziz Umerzakov, who are the two deceased victims from this tragedy, and update you on the status of the survivors. Yesterday, we mentioned that one individual had been discharged. I'm happy to report that another individual has been discharged today. That leaves one survivor.
It's funny that you just said this. This is really funny. I'll let everybody know. I just wrote Anthony Farah a letter, and I just sent the letter out yesterday. I know where he is. He's in South Dakota, in a federal prison up there. I just wrote him a letter. I want to see if he responds, and I'm going to make obviously some content out of it and give you guys some feedback. But stay tuned for that. I just wrote him the other day. I want to see if he comes back. All right, let's get into this here.
Survivor in critical but stable condition, and 5 in stable conditions. The parents that I spoke with today all reported that their kids were improving. So this is a happy announcement. But I know the entire Providence community, the entire state of Rhode Island, the governor and I were together at a memorial service last night, mourn the loss and offer our most sincere condolences to the Cook and Umerzakov families. Following up on a note that the colonel made with respect to AI-generated images and other misinformation, we have created an online folder with all of the video and images that have been released. And we encourage both members of the press, but also members of the community. We know lots of people are sharing information, and we appreciate that. We think that will help with this investigation. But we encourage them to download and share the videos and photos from the website that has been created so that you can ensure that you're sharing an accurate and verified photo and video. That website is now live. It is providenceri.gov/tips, TIPS. providenceri.gov/tips is an online file folder that has the videos and photos that have been released to date, and it will be updated as we progress. There's been lots of conversation up here about the heroic work of the hundreds of law enforcement professionals who remain hard at work 24 hours a day and who are in fact making progress. I want to close with one additional thank you tonight. All of those tip line calls are coming into the city's telecommunications department, the same folks who answer the 911 calls, and they too have been working tirelessly. And I want to thank the men and women at dispatch and at telecommunications for their diligence. Everyone in the city of Providence truly has a role to play in this investigation, and we're grateful for their assistance. We'll take your questions. John.
Colonel, I have a question for Colonel regarding the map.
Yeah, he goes right to the map. Yeah. Give us some fucking context about the map. This is the area. What area? What streets?
Walking around, I want to establish actually, what's the earliest that this person of interest emerges? I believe you had said Saturday morning at 10:30, but then someone else said maybe a couple days earlier. And I recognize that it fluctuates and this is evolving. But as of right now, what's the earliest that this individual, to your knowledge, shows up on?
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Sleep, 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 sleep.
But 10:30 a.m. on the date of this tragic incident. However, so like anything else, I also mentioned yesterday that they do case the areas. They do a lot of prior checking for their crime, and so we truly believe that it could be that possibly it was there prior as well. And so we want to make sure that we don't miss anything. And so that's why we're asking the public to help us to ensure within that map area that I mentioned with the borders between Wicked, Brook, all those areas, Gano, that if you have a camera system to reach out to us.
I was in along I Street, Gano today. Tremendous number of federal officials literally going door to door. Would you Just how would you describe it? I mean, it just seems that this is probably right now the most massive, intensive manhunt going on in the world.
I think I agree with you on that, John, and definitely commend the men and women, obviously, and all our federal partners. It's a lot of work, and it's intense, as you stated. It takes a lot to be able to knock on doors, see videos. There's terabytes of videos that you have to look, and I mentioned it yesterday. We're looking for a moment that takes almost less than a second, and if you miss it, you're missing something that could be critical and important for us to use. And so, yes, it's definitely an intense, and I believe that is probably the most intense investigation going on right now in this nation.
Colonel, the second person that you want to talk to, can you drill down at all on any interactions that you believe you may have had with the main person of interest? Do you believe he talked to him? How close was he to him? Any interactions? What can you tell us?
So, yeah, we have video footage of the.
This is about the new person that they've identified. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the stream, where those two people of interest, I keep saying suspect. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm so used to saying suspect. This whole person of interest, water everything down. Just call it a fucking suspect. That's what it is. Something you're looking for. And I know you can't call him suspect because of the law, and I get it. But just clarify and make things easier for us. This is where those two person of interest connected and jogged off in some certain area. And they're going to talk a little about it. You're not going to get any details here. And I think they're going to ask you, could you tell if this is the first person of interest is a male or female? Yeah, we haven't identified yet.
That determines to us and the detectives that can tell that this person was in the vicinity where the subject of interest was that we wanted that we actually have an interest on. Close enough that we feel that we need to speak with them to find out because videos don't speak. If you think about it, I wish the video could speak, and then I'll have the answers that we need to, so that we can continue on this investigation. So we're trying to find out exactly what it is, and that's why we need to speak with them. Please.
Does this person, this new individual, have anything to do with why the person of interest was seen running in the surveillance footage?
Again, I wish the videos could speak. We're trying to get those answers.
And have you found any items of interest during your search, specifically clothing?
Nothing as we speak, no. Up front here.
Hang on. I want to go back here.
Items of interest during your search, specifically clothing?
Nothing as we speak, no.
No clothing.
Up front here.
Who among law enforcement or other first responders was first on the scene that day? Who came next?
So Brown University was on scene, and then immediately the Providence Police Department within minutes was there. Back there, green jacket.
Previously released a video from 216 on the day of the shooting, where we see the person of interest come into contact or near another person. Is that the moment that you think this new person and the person of interest might have come close?
That's correct. It's around the area of Benevolent and Cook.
So behind the Rhode Island Historical Society, that corner of Georgia.
Right near that area, correct.
And you had some searches going on in North Attleboro today. Is that connected at all to this case?
I can't confirm. We're all over the place. If a tip comes in and he needs us to go down to Connecticut, we're going down to Connecticut. If a tip comes in and tells us that we got to go to Boston, we're going to Boston. Right there in the middle of the green jacket. Go ahead.
Is it possible that the second person could become a...
So don't warn that community. Don't warn North Attleboro. But if tips come in, folks, they're going to go. I feel like this is what I feel like he just did. Hang on. We have to do this. Remember Howard Dean? This is what I'm getting now. Let's back that up. All right. Let's back that ass up. Ready?
On the area of Benevolent and Cook.
So behind the Rhode Island Historical Society, that corner of Georgia.
Right near that area, correct.
Yeah.
And you had some searches going on in North Attleboro today.
Yeah, listen.
Is that connected at all to this case?
I can't confirm. We're all over the place. If a tip comes in and he needs us to go down to Connecticut, we're going down to Connecticut. If a tip comes in and tells us that we got to go to Boston, we're going to Boston.
All right. We got the Howard Dean moment. Remember Howard Dean? Right here. I'm just waiting for Perez to go.
You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something?
Here we go.
You know something?
Tell us where you're going off.
Not only are we going to New Hampshire,
where we going,
Perez? We're going to South Carolina
Where we
and
going?
Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Ah!
Oh boy. This is what I feel like is going on in this press conference. All right, let's go back. Get no
The
answer.
green jacket. Go ahead.
Is it possible that the second person could become a person of interest?
All we know is that that person was in the vicinity of the subject that we have an interest on, and we want to speak with them.
Missing.
En
Go ahead.
español, si nos puede contar, José Pérez, esta persona, una persona que busca identificar esa interacción, en qué área sucedió y qué pide de la comunidad.
Yeah, so pretty much the question is just, we can explain in Spanish exactly why we're looking for this individual, why do we want to speak with them. So, esta persona verdaderamente es alguien que nosotros tenemos un interés de hablar con ellos porque estaba en la área inmediata donde este individuo estaba. Entonces queremos saber más de qué, por qué estaba ahí para explicar la razón y qué interacción hubo.
¿Tienen algún indicativo de que la persona que cometió el tiroteo actuó sola o actuó con alguien más?
Eso es lo que estamos investigando.
My question is, have you found any DNA evidence from the crime scene or the area that you believe might belong to the shooter?
So we have found a lot of evidence that we need to, and we use and utilize it to hopefully guide us in the right direction in order to identify the individual that we're looking for.
Any of that been DNA evidence?
That's this actual physical evidence, there's DNA evidence, there's a lot of evidence that we're collecting to ensure that we can find the answer.
Okay, so I want to go back to that because that's fucking bullshit. Because when I'm reading here, and I'm going to pull this up and let's just look at it. Okay, why are you not telling people? Law enforcement has DNA they believe that came from the shooter. This is at 5:58 p.m. Eastern Time today, being reported by the Providence Journal. Answering questions at 4 p.m. press conference, Attorney General Peter Naraha said law enforcement have DNA from the scene of the Brown University mass shooting that they are using to rule out or confirm a suspect. So that they're not in sync with each other, people. The Attorney General is saying one thing, the chief is saying another. Providence Police Chief Oscar Perez confirmed that law enforcement has DNA of the suspected shooter from inside that could be used to confirm his presence at the scene once they have someone to compare it to. Where did he say that? Do you see all the conflicting reports here? What in the fuck is going on in Providence? Back to this.
A question for Attorney General Noronha. My understanding from your conversations over the last few days is that the Attorney General's office is taking the lead in terms of doing the investigation. My question is, what's the relationship between the Attorney General's office and the Rhode Island State Police? We haven't heard much from over the last few days in terms of who's doing what and what type of time commitment. I do have a follow-up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're leading it. I think that we are working closely with our law enforcement investigators. So you divide, I think you can divide in a case like this, the people involved into two groups. So there are at least five prosecutors that have been here since Saturday night. I've been here for a fair chunk of it myself, particularly after hours back at the office. But what those prosecutors are doing, Pat, is asking questions, helping to narrow and inform factual inquiries. Certainly when there's a question, all right, do we have enough to get a search warrant for a house or a car or a buccal swab from a person of interest? They're informing that. So in any complex investigation, both federally and stateside, prosecutors are embedded with the investigative team, and we bring our own heads to the investigation because we have been involved in writing search warrant affidavits and arrest warrant affidavits and wiretaps for years.
And the Rhode Island State Police, what kind of role have they played in terms of investigating? And I still have one quick
Yeah, the Colonel can answer that. But before you do, Colonel, I just want to make sure that I answer it as well. One of the images that I have most keenly in my mind from a couple nights ago is a state police lieutenant or Derek Melfi talking to John Permiano of the Providence Police, talking to Colin Woods of the FBI and identifying a certain piece of video evidence that's important to this investigation. And that's how intertwined and cohesive it is while prosecutors look on and engage at the same time.
And while no one has an any idea what's going on. So now what are we going to get? The head of Rhode Island State Police now?
So I addressed this question a couple of days ago. So this is a very collaborative effort between all of law enforcement, between the Providence Police, the state police, all of our federal partners. We will continue to develop leads and follow that with the evidence that comes along with that until this perpetrator is apprehended.
Great, thank you. And one quick follow-up for the gentleman from Brown University.
And this is the head of security, I believe, at Brown.
Can you say for the record and with complete certainty that every bit of digital mass surveillance, whatever type of evidence was collected by the infrastructure of Brown University has been turned over to the Providence Police Department as well as the Attorney General's office? Is the Brown University withholding anything, for the record?
For the record, we are cooperating 100% with law enforcement. We are turning over everything we have to assist in this investigation.
And that a reason there was a lot of conflicted reports that they weren't working with law enforcement. I love the fact that the media down there is asking these tough questions and putting these people on point. I hope that you're just as happy as well, because they're not getting anywhere. 96 hours from this incident, 96 hours into this investigation, and we're getting the same regurgitated things every single time we're at a press conference here. What is going on in Providence? There has been reported that over 400 law enforcement agency officers have been in and around that area. I don't know. I didn't really feel confident the other day of the shoe swiping technique through the snow, looking for evidence. But there's supposedly over 400 law enforcement agents in and around that area, and they all don't even seem like they're in cohesiveness with they have no idea what's going on. But go to school, go to work. It's safe in the community. Now there's potentially another person of interest walking around, running around, wherever they are.
You have a map and they are fully aware of whatever surveillance is being taken.
All materials are being provided to law enforcement.
Okay, Tom.
Mayor, thank you very much. Regarding the new person of interest video, who may have had contact with the primary person? Does law enforcement not have the capability to identify and find someone when you have like full face recognition without exposing them to public scrutiny?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something where you have to investigate. If you don't know who the person is, it's very difficult, and especially if the image is blurred, it's very difficult to identify him. And so, if we had that availability to be able to identify him without the assistance of the public, we would. So at this point, we do not, and that's why we're putting it out to the public.
Mary,
to assist us in identifying who this person is.
And then with this person of interest that you're looking at today, or I guess the subject that you released today, are we sure it's a man? I know it was brought up in the report that it could be a man, but are we 100% sure it's a man, or could it be a woman as well?
It's a person that we would like to at least
oh
speak
my
with.
God.
But there's no giving a gender at this time?
No, there isn't.
We wouldn't want to misgender the person, right? Just come out and say it. We think it's why would it say this could be, it's a male. It's a man. We think it's a woman. We think it's a male. Give some fucking context to the people in the area. We feel strong that it's a male. We feel strong that it's a female. These are the things that you should be looking for. When they showed this new person of interest, he fucking didn't describe one thing about that person. Didn't say he's wearing a black and blue jacket. Didn't say they're possibly wearing a beige or tan hoodie. Didn't possibly say it looks like they're wearing some type of combat boot or work boot. Black pants, possibly wearing glasses, possibly has facial hair. None of that. Just, here they are. If you want to look at the photos, you go to this website.
Patrick. That the main person of interest was carrying. In some images, he is seen with it. Some images, he is seen without
Sorry,
it.
man.
Have you recovered that black satchel? Do you know can you tell us whether he was wearing that strapped over his shoulder?
Yes.
Was he wearing it before the shooting, after the shooting?
He's wearing it at times, definitely on and off. And I think I addressed that yesterday. Obviously that we see him in the video with it, and then at times we don't see him, just like you stated. So we're assuming that he actually hid it under the coat that he was wearing, but we don't have it, no.
Patrick.
For Colonel Perez.
Yes.
The map that you showed, it looks like the perimeter has moved south into the Fox Point area from the immediate places where we've seen video footage.
The fucking media is giving more detail than the officials. They're naming the streets. They're giving the directions of where these potential people of interest went. You didn't even hear any of that when they pulled the map up. They just went, well, here's the areas we're searching. This green line here is where they were, and this is where they exited. Oh my God.
Can you tell me why the level of interest has moved south of the shooting site and into the Fox Point area? Is there new video footage? Is there additional evidence that points towards that area?
I mean, the investigation is intensive, so we're following his path. And he's getting us, the last place we saw him was right at Ives near Pittman. And so that's sort of south, and we're going to continue to check, but that's the last place that we saw him. That's why we moved south, and we may continue to move. It all depends. We want to see as far as we can, how far we can go to identify him.
Are there any other sightings or anything else down by, I mean, that you've extended all the way to like Wickedon where we don't have any?
Correct. We're at Ives and Pittman right now, but potentially could lead us further down to Butler. It could lead us further down south. So we just want to make sure we cover enough.
Steve.
Colonel, could you now explain to us 5 days later how many students were in that classroom? Sadly, 2 lost their lives, 9 others injured. Encouraged about the update today. But can you now say how many kids were in that classroom, and did the gunman come in from the back? So these
Please tell me. Well, we don't know.
Or did he come in?
We don't know.
With full view of everybody.
And that's all part of the interviews, and actually we're cooperating with Brown to get the roster. That was a study hall, so we don't have the number. We're still getting information as far as who was there. I know Brown sent out an email to the students to notify us if they were present, and we're still getting that, so I can't give you an exact account now.
5 days out, and you have no idea what students were in that room. Holy fuck. And he didn't even answer what direction the suspect came in from, what side of the building. Oh my God.
Okay, and then just a follow-up, you did say that you lost sight of the gunman at some specific road.
Correct.
Outside your perimeter.
No, it's within the perimeter, Steve. Yeah.
Right, and then what happened with him after that? There's no.
They don't know.
There's no video where he could have gone.
We're still out there as we speak. There's people out there, detectives out there, there's task force officers. We're trying to figure out what other locations we can find, but we haven't found anything else. So, but we're knocking on doors and making sure, and that's why I'm putting out the call to the public to assist us. If you happen to be within that box, that borders exactly where we want you to look, then that's exactly why we're here.
Second row here.
Yeah. Inside the classroom, you've done your interviews, you've continued your interviews. The description that eyewitnesses are giving, does it match the primary person of interest?
We don't know.
Can you say more about the weapon? You know that the TA said that he saw a gun that was so big and so long. Is it possible at this point that the gunman had multiple weapons? Can you swear that?
Yeah, there's definitely, the interviews are definitely telling us that that's the description that we have. And yes, they're describing the weapon. Some people obviously can think it was chaos. And so, but we're definitely getting some info as far as what the weapon looked like.
They don't know.
And exactly what was going on in that room. So
We don't think there's multiple weapons?
no, just that individual.
I just want to jump in here too, because
Yeah, here goes the AG.
you mentioned a long.
Coaching. Here comes coaching. Here we go. He's going to set the agenda. You mentioned a long, here it comes, coaching. Get out of the way, Perez. Look at Perez. Look at the AG just fucking pushing him out of the way. Let me get my agenda in here.
Gun. I don't, we are not in a position to say, unless the chief, you want to square it, whether this was a long gun or not. I think that there's been an account from the TA. There are multiple accounts about multiple things, including how this gunman approached the victims. Those are not details that advance the investigation. Why not? They don't advance the investigation because as we interview witnesses, we don't want them to learn facts from these press conferences. We want them to relay the facts that they have in their heads, including a person of interest. So we don't want a person of interest to shape what they're telling us based on what we know as expressed to you about those kinds of details, sir, that you asked. So we're being careful about the facts that we're sharing for that reason, so that when we talk to witnesses, what we're getting is their factual recitation. And as you might imagine,
I think people are smart enough, especially people that go to fucking Brown, to distinguish between press conference information and what they fucking saw in front of their face.
in a situation where there is chaos, and look, people are ducking for cover as well they should have. You are going to get different accounts, and part of what's going on now is reconciling those accounts. And I don't know if Chief, if you want to weigh in more about the weapon, but I don't want anyone to leave this room thinking that this weapon was a long gun, because that would be a misperception from what I know.
Alex.
So no shells were ejected, most likely. I can't with this. We don't want to let anybody know what kind of gun this potentially could be. Not a thought, not an idea. Okay.
The video released yesterday, it appears that the person of interest is going by a police cruiser that has its lights on. Does that mean that the dash cam in that cruiser was on and activated, and have police been able to recover anything useful from that video?
So that was a brown police cruiser, and I'm not sure if they have body cameras in their cruisers. I don't think they do.
Dash cam.
That's
$1.2 billion, people. An average of $1.2 billion comes into that fucking school a year. I'm going to say it again. 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion. And guess what? It was a Brown University police car. And guess what it doesn't have? It doesn't have dash cam video. $1.2 billion. 12,000 students go there at $100,000, average $100,000 a year for tuition. 1.2 billion.
Okay.
I don't want to
And
answer
then my
the
next
chief.
follow-up question would be, are you working with flock camera experts to try and recover anything from those cameras?
So as you know, we work with Flock, we have LPRs in the city, and we're utilizing every resource we can. Yes, Alex. Yeah.
Brian.
Colonel, you mentioned that there is other evidence, but at this point, how much of this investigation turns on the public identifying who's in those images? And are you discouraged or surprised that after a couple of days of being out there, you haven't gotten anything?
I haven't seen that.
No, I think this is, like we said it earlier, it's a very intense investigation, and I think it's going to take public assistance. It's actually going to take, obviously, 21st century policing involving technology, but it's also going to take good old-fashioned police work, which is knocking on doors, retrieving evidence, going through yards, talking to witnesses. It's going to take all that and more, Brian.
And
Sheldon Whitehouse, Congressman Sheldon Whitehouse, told us to shut up. He said we're stupid. He doesn't want us talking about this.
And no one's discouraged. I mean, I've been in that command post. No one's discouraged. I mean, leads are coming in, they're being run to ground, and no one's discouraged. Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been in the command post, as the colonel has, and no one's discouraged. I mean, I get when I'm not there, I get hourly reports from my own team, and there's an enormous amount of energy for people who have been working as hard as they have been. I'm really quite impressed by that, frankly. And there's no discouragement among people who understand that not every case is a case that can be solved quickly. In my view, they get solved. It's just a matter of time. In this case, we'll get solved too.
Would you have a message or an appeal to the shooter or anybody who may think they know who they are, who may be on the fence?
Well, look, certainly it would behoove everyone, including the shooter, to provide information to law enforcement and to the shooter to turn himself in. He will be caught, and it's just a matter of time before we catch him.
If we back up, 15 minutes ago, they were asking the chief of police, is it a man or a woman? He wouldn't give that answer. But now you have the attorney general out there saying He. So what is it? Is it a man or is it a woman?
And I believe that based on my experience, but also from watching the people in that command post and getting reports from where they're coming back out in the field. They know what they're doing, they're experienced, they're working hard. There's no lack of resources. Everyone's working really well together. And we're going to crack this case. And when we crack it, it's going to come open really quickly.
Yes.
Thank you. For you, Mayor, have you spoken with local business owners about how much this is impacting their bottom line, especially during the holiday season, and any concerns that they might have about this situation?
Yeah, I have. It's hard work being a small business owner, and this time of year is critical to them. There's a commercial district just off campus called Thayer Street. Those businesses are particularly struggling as both students went home early and some people are avoiding the area. Similarly, there's a couple other commercial districts nearby the area, which is Wickenden Street, as has been discussed here tonight, and Wayland Square. The city's Department of Economic Development, in partnership with the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, is reaching out to those business owners to look at assistance programs or otherwise try to support them to ensure that their businesses can stay healthy and vibrant through this.
Do you know when those might take effect?
Those conversations started yesterday, and so we're working with the various merchants associations to try to determine what's.
Now remember this. This is the same fucking thing that happened last year with the bridge. Remember the bridge, the debacle, the Washington Bridge, when they had to fucking tell people like, it's Christmas time. We still got to travel over this area. We've got to get it. We've got to get people in those areas to fucking shop. We've got to worry about the small businesses. I get it. I respect small business. I'm a small business myself. I have a small business. I understand that. But I'm more worried about the safety of the community. But he's not. He's telling everybody it's okay. Everybody's angst. Everybody's worried. Everybody's upset. But go to school, shop in the community. And doing this today, after they just said we have a potential second person of interest. And what we've heard here over the last 32 minutes does not instill any confidence of what's going on down there.
Sort of assistance might be most helpful, and when it's ready to announce, we will. Thanks. Please.
My question is for the Colonel. So looking at this new map, there's more video so far of him before than there is after the shooting. Do you think that the person of interest got the vehicle somewhere within this area, and are you going to go through license plate readers?
Absolutely, yeah, we're looking for that evidence, if there was any vehicles involved. And yes, you're right, he was there earlier, and so that's why we're looking at that as well. And definitely, we're using, I mentioned that earlier, the LPRs, the flock, any cameras. That's why we're making a call out to the public to assist us.
Those beaches will be open, right? What do you say? Those beaches are open on the 4th of July, right?
With that, it's all part of those resources that we're going to need, as the general stated,
exactly,
to make that apprehension.
Dan, I have a question to follow up first with the Attorney General. Attorney General Dan James, NBC 10. You had said the other day that you released the person of interest because the DNA didn't match, which would assume that there was DNA of the person of interest in that room. Can you tell us what it was? And if he hasn't committed a crime before, how it makes it a little bit more difficult?
Yeah, so DNA, when it's entered into a nationwide system, can confirm the identity of a suspect or a subject. And certainly the advantage here is that when we find a person of interest, and we can get a search warrant for what we call a buccal swab, we can compare that to a known quantum of evidence. That can rule people in and obviously can rule people out. That's a powerful piece of evidence, but it's not the only evidence. And relatedly to the question about, do we need only the public? The public is going to really help us here by identifying this person. But at the
not according to Sheldon Whitehouse. Remember, we're stupid. We don't know anything, and we should shut up.
Same time, there are other leads coming in through other forms of electronic and other evidence that are taking multiple teams out in different directions. And we're able through a variety of means, not just DNA evidence, to rule people in or rule people out. And it's a combination of really impressive work by vector experts in various forms of modern law enforcement techniques.
I have a second question, Brown. So I asked this question out of deep respect, but I asked it for a lot of parents who are frustrated who reached out to me, so please keep that in mind. And they want to know how a school with a $9 billion endowment does not have cameras on one of the older buildings at the edge of the campus where this happened. Not even in the.
This is the question I was asking yesterday, screaming into the screen about this.
Door, who's coming and going? Now they asked this question knowing that the shooter may have done whatever he wanted, but the cameras A would have deterred, or B captured a better look at him, and we wouldn't be here today 5 days out. I want you to explain that, because there's a lot of parents who are wondering, where are you investing your money?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. And I want to reiterate, as our president did, that supporting our students and communicating to the parents, to our community about our support is of utmost importance. We have 1,200 cameras located throughout the campus. We don't publish the locations of the cameras. That would give a map to somebody to evade detection on the cameras. So that would be counterproductive to do that. There are cameras in this building. And as I answered the previous question, we have turned over all evidence that we are holding at Brown to law enforcement and are cooperating fully with them.
So you're saying that there's a camera, you're saying there's cameras in the building. I was told yesterday there wasn't cameras in the building. The general said, old building, no cameras, attached to a new building with cameras.
I believe he said that there were two different phases of the building that might have two different levels of technology. Again, all video imagery has been turned over to law enforcement.
That doesn't make sense.
Amanda.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. I love it. I love it. Because they're lying. There's no cameras there. There's no cameras. Remember, they said it in the press conference yesterday. Well, that portion of the building's old, so it didn't really have the beefed up security that the new portion of the building had. Remember yesterday in the presser? I think it was the AG that said, just like the reporter said, it was the AG that said it.
For the chief and a question for the FBI. Hey, Chief.
How you doing, Amanda?
Good. So, looking at this person of interest.
Right. You're right, Mike.
Witness descriptions, it appears that this person had a genuine familiarity with Brown, possibly with that building as well. Have you, in questioning people, have you questioned or eliminated any Brown employees, current, former, disgruntled, facing discipline, any type of complaints?
Yeah, at this point, it's unknown to us. I think that the investigation is on, but it's unknown to us where this person works. It's unknown to us if he was an affiliate of Brown. That's all unknown to us. All we have is the image that we've been releasing and informed you all about it. And so we're hoping to get those answers eventually, who that person is or what their background is.
Okay, and a question, follow-up to the FBI.
And the fucking lawsuits that are going to come out of this, it's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. As they should, Little Miss.
The FBI has doing tower dumps of cell phone data, and I'm not sure if this is also happening, but if you're also checking the MAC addresses of any phones related to any of the Wi-Fi of residences or Brown University as well. If so, how long does it take to get that information? Have you even received any preliminary information that is helping you narrow down any potential persons of interest?
I will say that I don't want to get into the specifics of the techniques that we use investigatively, but I will say that we are using every resource that we have to find this subject and bring him to justice.
But when it comes to cell phone data, how long does it take to get that information? Would you get it weeks, months?
I will say that it varies as it relates to getting that type of data. I will say that everything that we're doing is getting expedited based on the gravity of what has happened here at Brown University.
Right next to it.
Have you recovered any physical evidence during these recent searches and possibly including a gun magazine?
So we have done extensive searches both inside the location as well as outside. Yes, we have seized and found physical evidence.
And does that include a gun magazine?
We have found physical evidence.
Can you say where?
I'm not going to confirm. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So they talk about they don't fucking want anybody to know anything. Reporter just asked. Have you found any physical evidence of the scene? Yes, we found physical evidence of the scene. Well, apparently there's a report that's been out there that you found a magazine, which means it would be something of a rifle or a long gun, whatever you want to call it. There was reports that you found a magazine. We found physical evidence at the scene. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Just let people know. It's a magazine. It's this caliber. This is shit that people could be fucking looking for. Hey, I know someone that lives in the area that has a gun like that. And now kind of matches up to that description. Give me something here. Describe it. It's a 9mm. Whatever. Give us something here.
For the past couple of days, we have zeroed in on this particular person of interest. Can you kind of help remind us about why you believe this is someone who possibly could be either the shooter or a suspect? And you've been very careful not to say a suspect. You've said a person of interest, that this is the only video. Can you help remind us about why you believe this is the person, not looking for others?
Yeah, we have enough evidence, I think, that's taking us to that level to identify this individual as someone who was there immediately after, before, case in the area. There's enough for us to believe that's definitely a subject of interest based on descriptions, based on statements. And so that's the reason we're calling him a subject of interest, just to ensure that we have enough. And once we identify him, to be able to take the next step.
A quick follow. You were very clear not to use gender with the person in
Yeah.
proximity to the person.
But the AG did.
Describing the person as a man. For this particular person of interest, we can say for sure you believe that this, we are looking for a man, for the person of interest.
Okay, wait.
Correct.
Now he says it.
At this point, and this is for the FBI, at this point, this person could be anywhere, right? I-95 runs right through the state. So how are you coordinating with other states to determine whether this person of interest could be elsewhere?
No, that's a great question. Through all of our field offices, we have 56 field offices throughout the United States, as well as legats abroad. And so the information that we have, once it goes into our data systems, we are sharing that information real time with all of our FBI field offices and the partners as well. And so that is a way in which we're making sure that whether that subject has left the state or even left the country, that we are using that full reach of the federal arm to track that individual down.
And a follow-up real quick for one of you. I understand that Brown has 1,200 cameras. Why, and that those images have been handed over to the investigation. Why have we not seen any of this footage?
Right.
Wouldn't it help if the media or if the general public saw people walking?
I love this. I love this too. While we don't want to, they're going to say something like, we don't want to put out videos that aren't going to be useful to the public to get them confused.
Campus and just to get angles.
Yeah, I mean, my answer to that is footage of students running from the scene doesn't help advance identifying this person or this investigation. So,
oh my God.
No, not him. I'm talking about video footage of students that were not harmed, other students hearing shots, running through a different part of the building. We have video footage of that. That doesn't help us identify this individual.
Because maybe they look in a certain direction as they're running. Oh my God. What is going on?
With respect to Attorney General, I think we could all agree that maybe, within the 24 hours ahead of that time, there is a lot of footage that could be gone through, or those 1,200 cameras that you say there are in the school. Why hasn't that just been released to the public?
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Would you like all of it?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, because here's why. Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime yet. If we get a better image of who committed this crime, you'll have it. There is no effort to
Hey,
preclude
asshole.
the public.
Maybe if you put the videos out, all the eyes that are looking at it might see something there that you all haven't seen in your investigative little nest here. I mean, what did they do when the Zodiac killer, back in the 70s and 80s? So they're throwing the ciphers out. They couldn't figure it out. They ended up putting it out. I think someone cracked it in like a day, right? So why not put this footage out here? Give it to the public. Someone might see something or a detail that they haven't seen. Fuck.
Online investigators in the press from getting to the result faster than we can. If you can identify this person faster than we can, have at it. But we are giving you the best evidence we can to identify this person. The FBI, with respect, cannot find a person we have not identified yet. The way we identify them is to focus on this person, exhaust our investigative resources to pull videotape so that we can get an image out there that the public may be able to identify. At the same time, exploiting other evidence to try to track this person in different ways, which has been going on for the last 72 hours. So, well, what does that look like? What that looks like is information come in from the tip line. The team runs it to ground. They rely on other evidence, the flock cameras that the colonel referenced, other electronic data that Amanda's referring to, and you can rule that person in or out. When that person's is ruled out, you move on to the next one. The way the public helps us now is to help us identify this person. Okay, but that's not the exclusive way we're going at it. But it does not advance our investigation to have reams of data out there that don't help identify the shooter. And we're confident of that.
My follow-up question just to that was as well, you know, we speak a lot about the public helping as well, and we know that, you know, the FBI is involved. But 5 days, is a person can get very far in 5 days.
Yep.
What other state police departments are helping?
They ain't gonna tell you.
Any indication where, how far this person may have gotten in this time?
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
Colonel.
no, I got it. So pretty much, it's a great point, and that's something that we're considering. Obviously, he could be anywhere. You're right, and I think the fact that we're all here in this room and we're providing the info and it's being spread out through this nation, I would hope. I'm speaking to different chiefs. I've had the privilege to know all.
But remember, he's not in the community. They know that he's not in the community because it's safe. They want you to go shopping, go to school, go about your daily business. You got to go to work. Name another suspect, person of interest today. Potentially 2 people walking around with guns that could kill people, that could literally pop up at any moment and start shooting people. But hey, could be somewhere else. We don't know.
A lot of them, we're exchanging info as we speak. We don't know, but we still don't know what the person is or who he is, right? And so we're going to continue to view, review, and then send out. And I just want to touch on that question because you do make a good point. If there's 1,200 cameras, right? How come we're not seeing it at all? But at the end of the day, we're looking at key evidence, key video evidence to send out. It makes no sense to re-victimize students who went through that. That's not my job. And
you could blur out the faces. You could blur out the people, the heads, whatever. Stop with this re-victimization. This is what you're going to get behind now. Give us some more video. Again, any helpful video in and around this situation right now would be absolutely helpful to the public. Again, any small, tiny detail that you haven't seen, someone might pick up on it. Here we go.
My responsibility is to ensure that people are safe. It's no different than I'm asking the public to provide me with video footage for weeks. I don't want to know what's going on in their homes for weeks. I want to know if they can see a piece of evidence that is going to be helpful for us to progress in this investigation.
Put the videos out. My point.
The level of public access to Garrison Hall. Is this a door that the shooter would have been able to walk in, or is this a place where you would have needed like swipe access to get in?
Who's this guy?
Certainly. Thanks for that question. Brown is no different than most colleges and universities that during daytime hours, there's open access to academic spaces. So that was the case on the day of the event.
Is this the head of security at Brown?
So,
question for Brown. There's some buildings on campus that have what the private or non-police security guards posted at the front entrance. Was there a security guard ever posted at the engineering building entrance? If so, were they there that day?
Okay, thank you, Alexandra.
If not, why not?
So maybe I'll ask our chief of police to speak to that.
On that day, we did not have and do not have a security asset posted inside the building.
Is that atypical of a Saturday or in that particular building? How do you determine where security is posted? Is that under the purview of Brown Police?
That is, and that is typical for that academic space.
That there would not be a security personnel?
Correct.
There you go. One for the Colonel, one for you, Mr. Mayor. As far as the investigation goes, any updates on a possible motive here? And for the mayor, while I have you, we're getting towards Christmas time. Obviously, this suspect can get lots of different places, not just on campus there. What is your message to people coming into this area, seeing family who are concerned that this guy is still out?
Yes, so the motive is unknown at this time. As we're, what are we, a week away from Christmas now? This only emphasizes the question that I think everyone's been asking, which is, are we safe in Providence right now?
Here we go.
Which honestly is the hardest question that I keep getting asked. And whether it's the holidays or not, but with the holidays, we expect even more people to want to come home and celebrate with family and share the traditions that, you know, are seared in all of our brains of
here we
holidays
go.
with our parents and loved ones. We
Are we
can't
safe?
lock down the city indefinitely. We can't. And I know this city. I know that they are tough. I know that they are resilient. I know that they have faced scary times before. And so we are doing everything possible to provide extra law enforcement, extra visibility, things to reassure confidence at a scary time. And it is a scary time here in the city. That's true at Christmas time. That was true when this started on Sunday morning, the first morning after. And so we are doing everything possible, but obviously families are going to have a conversation about what's right and what's best. But they should know that their city government is doing everything they know how. And thanks to the help of our friends, the governor and the Rhode Island State Police, our neighboring communities here in Rhode Island. For those of you who aren't from Rhode Island, this is a tight-knit place. And we have police officers from every corner of Rhode Island helping out in Providence right now. And so we are doing everything we can to reassure folks, to provide comfort, particularly as we expect will be even busier a week from now. And that is the best honest answer that I can give to that very difficult question. Please.
My plan is to go, if this is an ongoing investigation and we go into day 7 by Friday, I have Friday off. My plan is to go down there and try to get in and around the area and look around and give you guys some eyes. So either I may go live down there or just grab some video as I'm walking around. Hopefully I can talk to some people and they'll speak to me, how they're feeling, what they're seeing. But that's my plan on Friday, to go down and spend a couple of hours in and around Brown, walk the area, look at the map and get the general area of where I should be walking. And hopefully I can talk to some people. Maybe some people will speak. Maybe they can give us better answers than what we're getting here in this presser. Yeah, I could just ask ChatGPT. So, you know, my plan is to hopefully get down there and walk the area. All right, let's about another 10 minutes or so to wrap this up. Here we go.
The question is for the Colonel. I know you've been interviewing survivors, specifically survivors that were in that classroom where the shooting took place. Have any of those survivors described the person of interest as the shooter, or have they given a physical description of the shooter that is similar to the person of interest that we've been shown?
That's correct. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
They have.
Yes.
Can you tell us how many actionable tips you've received at this point?
I'm happy to see Steve Clampkin.
Thanks very much, Mayor. And a two-part question, both for
I love
Steve
Clampton.
FBI.
WPRO News. Love Steve Clampton.
As you've expanded the area,
voice.
you've appealed to people who may have cameras within about an 80-block area. Is it fair to say that the calls of people with cameras have tailed off, that you gotten about all you can get?
No, we're still getting info. We're still getting calls, and we're doing a lot of knocking on doors, and it's been extremely helpful. So no, we're not done. We're going to continue to expand, and we get calls, and sometimes just knocking on doors alone is providing us that evidence.
And notwithstanding the fact the FBI issues a bulletin to all of its field offices and so forth, is it fair to say that until and unless you get a picture of this guy stepping into a car, you're not going to, basically starting from square one? You don't really have a sense of who he is, where he's going, and how he's getting there.
I would say, as it relates to the FBI, as well as our partners here, any information that comes in, that has not tailed off at all. And I would say one thing that remains constant is we will always need the public's assistance in anything that we do. No matter what you guys may see on TV, we will always need the public's assistance. I say as it relates to that, any tip that comes in, the information that we get, we're able to aggregate that and push out, not only to make links with other FBI field offices, so in a way in which we can follow that lead all the way to ground. And so the information that is coming in, we are pushing that out throughout our field offices, throughout our partnerships into that community, and then we get it back as well. That's helping us to cross off leads in which are not valid, and then to push on leads that are valid as well.
But without that, I don't know if it's a video or something that shows him stepping into a car and you get a plate or something along those lines, makes it your job that much more difficult.
Yes, and I mean, I think we mentioned this job is painstakingly difficult, but we've signed up to do it. As the AG mentioned, we have not lost any vigor or investigative rigor as we've gone forth into this. I will say that evidence that you're talking about sounds more like a smoking gun. Oftentimes, within my experience in the FBI, and I'm sure our partners as well, we get seeds. We only get seeds. And then we, through that hard work.
Look at this. Dr. Bob. Nice to see you. Look at this membership, folks. I haven't seen Dr. Bob in the chat in a long time, and it's very good to see you here. I love this. I love this. Look at this membership. Membership for 33 months. Through and through, LTL, through and through, all the way. 33-month legend. And said they never set up a perimeter after the event. Bad. You are correct, sir. And I love that. And I'm glad that you're here. And I hope that you are well. And I love this. 33-month legend. Love that. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support, Dr. Bob. Here we go.
As the Colonel mentioned, we end up building that story. We put that puzzle together. That's what we do. That's what we signed up for. And we're committed to that, to this community, to help do that.
In the back there. Yeah.
Thank you. Colonel, I want to follow up on one of my colleagues over there. You mentioned old school police work, and my colleague mentioned crossing people off the list, like basically making sure it's not that person, it's not that person. In homicide investigations, isn't it usually someone close to the victim? And if so, have you, and the person also seems to have no ground somewhat, have you knocked off every single person from ground? When I say knock off, meaning they didn't do it, they didn't do it, they didn't do it, from staff to students?
Yes, of course. I mean, investigations, and I don't think that in every homicide, everyone that commits the homicide is close to that person. That's not something that happens. But we have obviously eliminated those strong leads that come up as strong leads. As a tip comes up, we label it as a high priority, medium priority, low priority. And yes, once we vet it through and make sure that we cover everything and we prove that that person has nothing to do with it, absolutely, we clear it out.
Yeah, and if I could I just want to jump in here to clarify that. So clearly, one of the things the investigators do, or maybe not so clearly, is that when you have a victim, you build back all of the relationships. You do that in any case. And so you build a profile of your victims, so you know who may have threatened them, what they may have said.
Mr. Positive, Alex, yeah, reach out to me because you know the area. So maybe we can meet up around there and you can kind of take me around to that area. I know Thayer really well. I used to hang out down there in the 90s when it was all the punk rock scene down there. And I know Brown in and around that area too. But yeah, just reach out to me and maybe we can set something up, a time or whatever. and you can kind of take me around because you probably know all the ins and outs of that area. You know where we can get in and where we can't get in. But yeah, that's a great idea. Just email me. We'll figure something out. All right, let's finish this up, guys.
Might have caused somebody to react a certain way. So yeah, that work is ongoing in conjunction with all the other work we're doing. But from where I sit today, there's been no development of any evidence that suggests that that's what drove this shooter. That could change, but there's nothing that we have recovered or analyzed to date that suggests that it was specific person motivated. Again, could change, but you know, we're 5 days out. That work is being done, and there is nothing that suggests
Not far from my
that
house.
at this time.
Last question.
This is for law enforcement and potentially Brown, but 5 days have passed. How is it possible that we still don't have a clear idea of who was in the classroom during the shooting?
Yeah, it's crazy.
5 days have passed. It could be 6 days. We were hoping that only 1 day passed. Unfortunately, investigations, as this nature of investigation, as intensive as it is going to take time. And it's going to take a lot of time to be able to interview, seize evidence, examine it, to come up with the right person. But as the general stated, a person's going to get caught. We're going to do our job, and we're not going to stop until we do. And so we're going to continue. It could be later, it could be tomorrow, but we're not stopping until we find them.
But surely there's a log or something of people entering that classroom in particular, you know?
No, I'd be happy to speak to that. So at this time of year, we have final exams taking place. We also have study sessions taking place. That particular classroom, it was a study session. Had it been a final exam, we'd have a roster. We handed it over. We know exactly who was in the room because everybody shows up for a final. But for a study session, it's elective.
Ronaldo.
It's elective.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's elective to turn out.
Whoa. What's going on here? What's going on? Let's go back here. Hang on here, folks. We got a little ruffle feathers from the peanut gallery. Let's see the question that was asked. Here we go. Someone's asking the tough question and they don't like it.
Time. And it's going to take a lot of time to be able to interview, seize evidence, examine it, to come up with the right person. But as the general stated, a person's going to get caught. We're going to do our job, and we're not going to stop until we do. And so we're going to continue. It could be later, it could be tomorrow, but we're not stopping until we find them.
But surely there's a log or something of people entering that classroom in particular, you know?
No, I'd be happy to speak to that. So at this time of year, we have final exams taking place. We also have study sessions taking place. That particular classroom, it was a study session. Had it been a final exam, we'd have a roster. We handed it over. We know exactly who was in the room because everybody shows up for a final. But for a study session, it's elective.
Ronaldo.
It's elective. It's elective to turn out for a study session. So we don't know exactly what fraction of the overall roster turned out for a voluntary review
So
session.
there's no physical log, just to clarify.
Law enforcement is working to reconstruct that, but there would not be a formal.
The camera in that building, the Brown put up because the sanctuary city law that we have, you don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it come out from your detectives, they're a friend of mine, they're angry at this investigation, that these people in Brown University put the camera up, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family want to go through? Tell the truth this, to the media here. Putting cameras up and
We heard from both the Brown Police Chief and the Provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. The City of Province's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow once again.
Run away! I knew this. This was some of the stuff that's been reported, that they haven't been transparent and they haven't been sharing the video. And this is it's getting political now. It's getting political. Now Smiley, run away! See him? It's like, what is it? Monty Python, run away! Let's hear Smiley do his Smiley exit.
Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. the City of Providence's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow. Once again, if you are not on the press list and you would like to be updated, please see Camille. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, at 4.
Oh yeah.
Data and evidence that they have. The City of Providence's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow. Once again, if you are not on the press list and you would like to be updated, please see Camille. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, at 4.
Camille, I got to find out where I can get on the press list. I wonder if I can just. I wonder if the mayor's office has the name of the person, Camille. I gotta look that up and try to get on the press list, or I can probably just call that press center, right? I don't know. If anybody has any information about that, email me. I'll try to Google and see if I can get on the press list. I have my press pass in Massachusetts, so I have my credentials. Yeah, I want to go to a press conference. Yeah, Alexander, send it over. Give me the information because I'll go on Friday. I just got to be back because we're doing a Karen Reed fundraiser at 7:00 on Friday evening. We're going to start. We have a huge fundraiser. A lot of the collaborative channels are going to be together, and we're going to do a huge fundraiser. I just have to be back here for like 6:00. So I think they've been doing their presses at like 4 or 5. But yeah, Alex, reach out to me. Get me the information. We'll try to work something out. Even if I don't make a presser, I'm going to at least most likely go down there and I want to walk the area. But I don't know. Complete disaster down in and around Brown University. I hope for all the sake of everything that they have some solid information here pretty soon because it's pretty dire now. I mean, you're seeing the mainstream press in there. They're yelling at them. The local press is in there yelling at them. People in the community are upset. And it just doesn't feel like anything's getting done. It just doesn't feel like anything is getting done. And by the way, on Friday night, 7 p.m., there's a Karen Reed fundraiser. We're going to be streaming across all of our channels. You can go to any of the respected channels that you watch. Young Jerks, DJ from Calling All Beings will be on it. We have a bunch of the locals that will be on it. JFK is supposed to be here. James Jackson. And just a bunch of other people are going to be collaborating. And we're going to stream it all across our channels. We're going to have Nick Rocco on and some surprise guests, guest appearances. So you're going to want to watch that, take part of it, and we can start doing some fundraising for Karen. But anyway, I'm going to head out. I appreciate all of you. Again, yes, I mean, no sense of urgency. And if you have a tip, please call the tip line at 401-272-3121. I'm going to be following this story as much as I can and give you as much updates as you can. We haven't had anything. I mean, day 5 here, 96 hours into this investigation, and it just seems like a huge clusterfuck at this point. A huge clusterfuck at this point. So please like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't done this. Share the stream. I will be back. Let's see. Tomorrow night I will not be here, so I won't be able to do an update. Maybe I do some type. Well, obviously Friday I'm gonna go down and walk the area and get down there and get either some video or do some live streaming for you. And then Friday night is the fundraiser. So that's kind of what's going on. Listen, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Brown students, the community in Providence. I'm very critical of the situation right now. I've been listening to WPRO. I listen to them in the mornings. And they've been very critical as well, too. A lot of people are just very critical of this investigation in the area. They need to do better and need to get this more coordinated and just give us the information. Don't be afraid. Don't hold back. I'm tired of this shit. If you don't want misinformation out online, then you need to give us the facts. You need to give that community the facts and get the correct information out there. Just pulling up pictures of a second person of interest and putting it up behind you and going, this is the person we're looking for, and not describing anything about that person, not giving any details about that person, and then you just pull a map up and say, here's the area that we're in. Well, let us know what area. Let us know what streets are cordoned off. Let us know the concentrated area that you are looking at this particular moment. Give something back to the public instead of just saying, check your Ring cameras. It's not working. It's not working. And you have a school that takes in an average of $102 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion of tuition money that goes through that school, and you've got to tell me you don't have proper cameras in and around that facility to protect the students and to protect the faculty and the area and the community that go in and around that area. Shame on you. Shame on you. You need to do better. We just even found out the Brown police, they don't have dash cameras, so you're not going to be able to see anything. It's ridiculous. The school has plenty of money to do it. It's an Ivy League, top Ivy League school. You have the money to do it. Do better. And the lawsuits that are going to come out of this are going to be insane. So prayers to everybody involved that they find these potentially suspects or people of persons of interest and start getting to the bottom of this, because it's not looking that way right now. And I feel bad for the community of Providence. I feel bad for the community of Brown. And it's just a sad way. It's a sad way going into the Christmas holiday. And it's just, it's not something that we want to deal with here locally. So I'm going to head out again. I promise you we'll get some content for you guys on Friday. Look out for that. Either going to be a live stream, or if I collect a bunch of videos, I'll come back, I'll edit them and get them up. Friday night, 7 p.m. Look out for the Karen Reed fundraiser. Looking forward to doing that and spending time with some friends. And that's about it. We're going to head out. Make sure to smash like and subscribe. Appreciate all you. Thank you for all having the interest in this story. It's very important. It's a very important thing that we get down to this and get the city of Providence and Rhode Island and Brown University safe again, and get these people or persons of interest behind bars where they belong. And that's it. All right, everybody. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace.